guys, my name is Tammy Neal. I'm coming at you from Branford High School. This is my computer apps and game design classroom, and today we are sharing about Google Drive, and we're going to be doing some work with Google Forms today. So I have a few teachers in the room, but primarily what I'm going to be doing is screen sharing with you, and then you will hear me talking over that screen share. So there won't be a whole lot of me on the screen. Okay, so we're going to get started with that. If you are in the classroom, if you would make sure that you are logged into Google Chrome, and Chrome is the browser that works best with Google because it is their browser. So I have multiple accounts, and I'm going to add my school account. And here is my school account. And I'm going to log in, sign in. And the one thing that I have noticed with the school account is that unlike our first class and our network logins, we do not change the Google account. So when you've changed your network login and your email and it's all one, Google is not part of that umbrella. So whatever you signed it up for at the beginning is your password all the way through.
That's a nice feature.
Yeah, it is a nice feature. It's also not, in my opinion, not as secure though as what we've got in our classroom. But because of Google's security network has to go through the district's network anyway, we have to log into our computer to get to it. It kind of 6 of one, half dozen of another. All right, so we talked about last time some identifying features. We called this right here the waffle, and then we are calling this right here the pancakes. You may hear in some other trainings they may call that the hamburgers, but we like breakfast, so we're going to go with waffle, which is official, and pancakes. Pancakes is predominantly the Chrome browser settings. The waffle is your Google account and the apps that can go with that. Okay, and last time we were together, we did a basic look at the drive. We've done some basic sharing of sheets. So today we're going to look at the More feature. We have groups, contacts, maps, translate news that we can play with in future. We're going to open our drive today. And I've been using my drive since probably September or October, pretty much the whole school year. So I have lots of things in my drive. So don't even worry about what I have in my drive. If this is your first time, your drive will be empty. And it's just like an electronic flash drive. There's not anything special about it. So if you are just joining us, you're going to go up here to the waffle up in the top right, and you're going to click there, and you're going to go to your drive, which is the triangular green, orange, yellow, yellow, green, blue triangle looking thing. And that will open up your drive. You should have new here. If you have create there, then we need to make sure we get you some updates running through your system. But so far, the district has been really good at making sure we're up to date. And that's one of the features of Google, is you will always have the most up-to-date applications, apps available to you. So last week when we clicked on new, we started sharing some Google Docs. Okay, so we can go there and open up a Google Doc. And this is a word processor. It is a free word processor. It's available every time you log in from any internet computer. This is there. You can change the document title. It's the same type of printing and everything as you would have in Word in the Microsoft Office platform. But this is available for free. So some people don't consider this quite as robust as Word, but at the same time, you don't pay for this. So yes, there are some things like WordArt is not as fancy here as it is in Microsoft Office. But the trade-off in making sure that every student has access to something is well worth it, in my opinion. And the other thing is that you do not see here, there is not a save feature because Google automatically saves as you type.
That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Because one of my downfalls is making sure I go back and save each time because at the blink, it's gone.
Right. And so that is really cool with Google. Okay, so today, however, if you will go to your new button, and you'll notice I just closed it out. I didn't put anything on there. It's not there anymore. So go to your new, go down to this more, and we're going to go over to Google Forms today. This is our focus today. Now, what a Google Form is a questionnaire. It's a format. It's a website that collects data for you. The very first one says, require Suwannee County Schools login to view the form. If you're doing this specifically for your students and it's staying in your classroom, then you need to leave that checked. That guarantees that you know which student is sitting in front of that form. I would still suggest that you ask for their names so that you can verify that the person that's submitting it is the person that's logged in. But that one just automatically collects that data in the background for you. Keeps you from having erroneous data from other places. Keeps it within our walled garden. Okay. And let me go here a second. And then you'll notice that I have I'm going to bring this up to 100% so we can all read a little better. In fact, I'm going to take it a little larger than 100%. Okay, automatically collect respondent Suwannee County Schools usernames. If you want that collected automatically, you can check that. If you're going to have a large form, a multiple page form, and you want them to see how much longer they have to go, you can check that have that progress bar at the bottom of the page. If you want to only allow the students or anyone to use the form once, then you can do that. If you want your questions shuffled based on, random for every time they log in, you can do that. So you could very easily create an individualized looking quiz or questionnaire for every kid in the class, because as they log in, it would randomly shuffle it for them. Okay, so untitled form. You can't have a form. You shouldn't have an untitled form. A form needs to have a name. So for today's sake, let's call this form questionnaire. Oops, let me spell that. Red line. There we go. Questionnaire 1, for lack of a more creative term. We're just creating something we're going to play with each other and share with each other. Okay.
You want us to do the same thing?
Please do.
Okay.
Okay, form description. It says description. It can be anything there you need it to be that's text-based. So if you wanted to write a paragraph about instructions, you can do that. If you wanted to give students or anyone actually specific directions on what to do after they've finished, you can do that. That could be anywhere from a small 1 line to 50 lines of text. It could be multiple paragraphs. This can be anything I'm not spelling well today. Anything you need. Wow. Need it to be. It can be multiple lines with lots of space if necessary. And this is getting saved. All changes saved in Drive. They get saved automatically. Okay. We can edit.
Excuse me, you want us to type just something in there or type what you put?
You don't have to type what I put. You can put anything that you want. It will not make a difference at all. Now, as we start to think about the questions that we want, there are lots of options as to the types of questions we can have in a form. You can create an online quiz or test or set of objectives that they have to answer. Text is a small text box. Paragraph text is just that. It allows for a larger space for a paragraph of responses, free response. Multiple choice, check boxes, which allows for multiple correct answers. Choose from a list. A scale. How difficult was this test? How difficult was this assignment? How are you feeling today? How well done, rare to well done was your steak? Okay, that scale can be anything you need it to be.
One of the things that you shared in EdCamp is how powerful that scale is. Like, how are you doing today in terms of your students? Because you said that one particular student, like, she shared that she wasn't feeling so hot that day.
Yep, I use a scale in my daily classroom, and I share the results with my daily check-in with our guidance counselor. And so she can go in and see, just like I can go in and see, which students are routinely not feeling well, or which students are, oh my gosh, this kid's always felt well, and today they're a 2 out of 10. We need to find out what's going on. So it allows us to see that whole child, not just that 50 minutes we have them in our classroom. A grid is, and we'll get into what a grid looks like a little bit later on, but that's a unique way of maybe filling out a rubric even. Date, obviously. Time, obviously. So let's say we want the first question to be name. I strongly suggest that whatever you put in the question title, you make it as short as you can possibly make it, because that will be the heading of your spreadsheet that collects the data. So the longer the question title is, the wider that piece of data is in your spreadsheet. Help text can be anything you want it to be. It can be as long as you want it to be. It can have multiple lines in it again. Please type your name. Make sure you use both first and last. I can come in here and write this as, make this as long as I need it to be, as long as it's in a paragraph format. Okay? And obviously name would not be a multiple choice. So we're going to change that to a text box. Now, if you want to make sure that they're forced to require an answer, then you need to require the question. It puts the little red asterisk next to the question and requires you to answer it before it will let you go to the next page. Okay. And we can go into advanced settings, but we can do that at another time. We'll do a Forms 2.0 and we'll go into some more of the advanced settings. So we're going to call this one done. We're going to come down here and add an item. And I'm clicking on the check box right there, that little down arrow, and it's showing me all the different types of things I can add. I can add an image at this point if I wanted to. I could add a video. So if I wanted them to watch a specific video that's saved in my Google Drive, I can set that up here. And students, if it's saved in your Google Drive versus a YouTube video, the students would be able to watch that at their desks if they're logged into their school account. You can create
So we as an instructor can upload something.
to our Google Drive.
It can be like, it can be YouTube, like if it's
Now,
like
YouTube
approved?
videos cannot be downloaded,
Okay, gotcha.
okay? But let's say you're doing a demo in the kitchen and you wanted kids to be able to go back and review that demo. Well, you save that video in your Google Drive, then there are things that you can do with it that you can't do through YouTube,
Gotcha.
okay? So you can see that the basics, the advanced, and these are layout features. So if I wanted to do a section header, all about homework. Pardon me. Sneezes. Notice that I have a section header now. That's not going to show up in my spreadsheet that we'll see here in a little bit. Okay, and I found that by clicking right there at that little down arrow. And it gives me these options as I move forward. And yes, I can do multiple pages. So if I wanted to have something on one screen, but I did not, and I wanted to separate it out by pages, you can definitely do that. Notice that as I am on top of this item, I have the move icon on my cursor. I can move this around. Now, one caveat when you're building a form and moving things. Things get loaded into the spreadsheet, not based on where they are in the form, but based on when you put them into the form. So anything I put in after name will come in after name in my final form, in my spreadsheet. And the first time I saw that, and I thought, wait a minute, why do I have all of this stuff? You can go back and edit your spreadsheet and put things in the order that you want. That's not a problem. But know that things get added to that spreadsheet, to that resulting, let's see, what do I call that? Data result spreadsheet, to your responses in the order in which it's added. Okay? So I've just got a heading there. It's not going to make any difference. I can duplicate that. I can edit it. I can throw it in the trash. Same thing's true with this question. I can delete it. I can duplicate it. I can edit it. Okay? So let's add another question. Let's add a multiple choice. Because this one is a unique little question. Question title. This could be as simple as question 1. And you could put your longer based question in the help box. Please think about which one of the following would be best served with toast. Option 1, eggs. Option 2, salad. And I am strictly making these up as I go along, and I hope my culinary teacher who's here with me is not going to make too much fun of me while I'm doing this.
Okay.
Ice cream. I can give the students an option to add another if I wish. But I can also use this right here, says go to page based on answer. If I clicked that and I had multiple pages in my Google form, I could now have, well, if this child or this student thinks that eggs goes best with toast, I'm going to send them to a page about breakfast. Or if they think it goes best with salad, I'm going to send them to a page about lunch. And if they think it goes best with ice cream, if they think toast goes best with ice cream, I'm going to send them to come talk to me. But you can send them to go anywhere else in your form. Okay. Now, we don't need that right now because we don't have multiple pages in this form, but you could really make a complex form. I have seen English language arts teachers use this to allow students to create, to have students use the form to create like murder mysteries and things like that, so that if you think this is going to happen, go here, and if you think this is going to happen, go there, and the kids can do multiple ending stories and create using forms. So I could definitely see a culinary class using this to help somebody build a menu.
We could also do it with ours in our career.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about career clusters. And like if we're in a career cluster that a chef is in a month, we can say which of the items go together in a meal.
Right.
Eggs, toast, and cereal, or you know,
Right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we can use it there too.
Okay. And so if we want to make this a required question, we can. I'm not going to necessarily make this one a required one. I'm going to mark it done. And I'm going to add one more question. I'm going to add, let's add a scale. I'm going to call it question 2. And I'm going to put in my help text, I'm going to put my question. How well done was your steak? Okay. And you can label this if you wish. You can label it from rare to well done if you wanted to. I could even range this all the way up to 10. If I want to make this a required question, I can. And you'll notice that when it does, it gives me that range to look at there. Okay, at the bottom, and that's enough questions for now. You get a feel for what that looks like.
How did you get the scale underneath there where it said how well done was
Okay, so once we're done with this, and pardon us guys, we had some people come in and we wanted to make sure that they got our attention. So we're right back with you now. So once you're done with this, we'll mark done. And we're not going to add any more questions at this time. We're going to go ahead and start thinking about wrapping up our form. As you can see, you can go a lot more detail if you wanted to. And we've used this, those of you from Branford High School have seen a form like this last year when we did our supply request through our office. Ms. Delagall used a Google form last year to collect all that information. So down here at the bottom is a confirmation page. You can change the confirmation for yourself. You can have it be their basic confirmation. You can add links into that if you wanted them to go somewhere else afterwards. You can write a whole paragraph of information there if you wish. You can show a link for the next person to sit down and fill out the form. These two, however, down here at the bottom, I strongly suggest. Okay, so these two at the bottom down here, publish and show a public link to form results. If you have these at the top, do not do this one at the bottom, because it will link the information that the students put in there to their username, and that will be available for the public to see. Be aware that if you do this one, you should not be doing these up here, because all of that information will be available for everybody to see. Okay? Allow responders to edit responses after submitting. If you've got somebody, you want them to be able to go back before they've closed out the window and make edits, you can give the students or whoever that opportunity. Okay? But this doesn't look pretty, does it? Looks kind of plain. Who would want to see this? Well, we have way up here at the top, we have change theme. And we can, number one, it shows us what our quiz, our questionnaire, our form looks like. But over here to the right, we have other themes that we can use. And I will tell you that all the years that I've been using Google Forms, this year they updated this, and this is by far my favorite feature of Forms now. I can choose any of these. It does not matter. So if I'm doing, let's see, and I'm sliding through those kind of quick because you guys know what you're doing. You can see yours. Choose one. I don't even have to keep that. I can come in and customize every single part of my form. I can choose other headers. I can even upload images. Here's a picture that I took at my house. If I wanted to use that as my header, I can do that. And there's my header. And we are recording. We're in a live hangout, video hangout. It's okay. Just letting you know.
Oh, where?
But anyway, so you can see everything that you need to see and all the things that you can edit. You can change the fonts. You can change the colors of the fonts. You can change all of the arrangements and all of those good things. So I'm going to put us on mute for just a minute. I'm going to give you a few minutes to play with your form yourself, and I'll be right back. Okay, so one of the questions was, if I wanted to take a picture, if I wanted to change the picture, I'm going to go back down here to one, and we're going to customize again. Okay, so change header image. These are albums in my Google Drive, right down here. Things that are shared with me. So if there was a specific department in the district and they all wanted the forms in a specific grade level to look the same, somebody could share an image and everybody could use that same header. But they have tons. Notice this one is a GIF because it has, or GIF, depending on how you pronounce it, it has action in it. Okay, that might be what you're interested in. You may just want one that looks like blue crumpled paper. You know, if you're doing a video response, well, there's one there that looks like, you know, I know the kids may not know what that is anymore, but we do. So there's just lots and lots of options, and that's one of the things they did. Forms was starting to be shelved, and people started begging for it again, and teachers specifically, educators started begging for it, and Google brought it back. And one thing I will say, that in the educational world, Google is paying attention to what educators are requesting. Okay. So, okay, so you've created your form. Now what? Well, let's see what it looks like live. At the very top is View Live Form. And you'll notice that it opened it in a new form, in a new tab, and there is my form. And remember, we told it to save usernames, and so it tells me that it's going to save my username. And if that's not me, I need to sign out. So if somebody walked in behind me and tried to do the same form, it would tell them, this is going to be recorded as this person. If that's not you, sign out so that somebody else can sign in. I can always go back and edit the form. It opened it in another window, but I can close these out. I'm right back here. Now, we're done with our form. We're ready to share it with our students. We're going to send this form by either copying the entire long, drawn-out link, or we can click right there to get a short link to copy. Right-click allows us to copy. If we knew somebody's email address, we can send them the form. Now, right now, our student Google accounts do not have active email, so we cannot send it to them via email. But we can copy that form and put it in any document we wanted to send them. If we're using Classroom, it can be a link to a classroom assignment or an announcement on their classroom page. So I'm going to Control-C or copy that link
How did you get to that page?
to send form. Okay, so you might need to go to the other tab. Okay.
Sorry. That's okay. Wait, this one. And then send it.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take this offline now, and I really appreciate you guys being with us. Okay, I am coming back today to do a little bit of wrap up for our Google Forms. You can see on the screen is a copy of the responses. Here is a copy of the questionnaire. And then we got to edit the questionnaire. And the first time you do a Google form, you will get a window pop up that says it's going to create a new spreadsheet for your responses, and just click OK, and it will do that every time. And so what you will get is a spreadsheet with the parentheses around it that says responses. The spreadsheet is named the same thing as your form. And so I have purposely removed the names for privacy, but this is the data that came in yesterday afternoon to the form that I created in the classroom. And as you can see, there's lots of things you can do with this form, which is really cool. You can gather these questions together and very quickly decide if your class has fulfilled what they needed to do, or lots of other options. So there is also, there are pivot table reports and validations and anything that you could do with a spreadsheet. Now in the future, we're going to talk about some add-ons called Autocrat and Roll Call that have already been approved by the district. But for right now, this is the most important part right here. Under Form, you can go down to Show Summary of Responses. And I've scrolled up past where the names are. You can see the answers that the people that answered my questions. You can see the types of responses. You can very quickly see in data format, which is also usable, especially if you're in a math class and need data to help the kids learn how to graph. You can create those data tables very easily with live data that the kids are very interested in. So I want to encourage you to use forms. It's a great way to collect information and move forward into 21st century skills. So thank you very much. And my name is Tammy Neal, and it has been a pleasure to be a part with you for Tech Time Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody.